Thanks for joining. Cool. Well, I'll get started. You're the first non-internal team member to join, so I'll introduce what the session is going to be about today, and then yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, then I'll take them then. So what I wanted to do today was really just a live showcase of a session that I run as part of my coaching program, which is essentially like an open office hours. Anyone is welcome to bring any question. Need no prep. We have AI to support us, and so yeah, happy basically to take any question. If no one else joins, John, you have me as your personal AI assistant for the next hour, which could be fun for you. If more people turn up, then obviously I might have to restrict the time a little bit. But yeah, if not, yeah, the floor is yours, sir. Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I've got this microphone in. Well, where do we start, really? Well,
can you tell me a bit more about what you do? Maybe that's
well, yeah. Well, my background's film and TV as a cameraman, and long story short, I'm not kind of doing that anymore. So I'm not 30 years old anymore, 25 years old, and running around with the camera, sitting in this seat. And the more I use AI, I've been using AI for various things, but only ChatGPT. And it's just basically, obviously, it's not going to go away. It's going to get better and better. So looking at how I'm going to use it, but the best way, really, for what I'm doing, which is probably a bit open.
Okay. But, so are you a coach now?
Yeah. Well, how long you got?
Do you deliver transformation? How's that?
Yeah. I basically I'm teaching people how to speak to video cameras, but it's quite a hard slog because I feel people, they don't want to do it. They need to do it, but they don't want to do it. Okay. So it's not like teaching people guitar, for example, or how to do something. They actually want to do it, or be a football coach.
Yeah. I guess then the thing is to think about, like, what is the outcome that they do want? Like, is it better outcome in terms of their sales? Is it better outcomes in terms of their marketing? Is it better outcomes in terms of, being able to network and be confident in front of the camera? Or like they're recording content, like what outcomes are they looking to get from being better at what they do? It's not necessarily about being only in front of it's not necessarily only about being better in front of the camera, because that's your method. That's the specific part that you support them with. But how do you zoom out and say what are the outcomes that they want?
I think that's the issue.
So should we use AI?
It's catch 22. They don't know what they don't know, so they don't know what they need. But
yeah, I guess then maybe we can identify like symptoms of not being confident and not being good in front of the camera, and then maybe they're friction things for them. Okay, let me share the screen. I wanna jump into AI and see if we can put together something to help us just digest this a little bit more and just kind of piece it together. Let me share my screen. Can you see that all right, John?
Yeah.
Gonna just use voice to voice. I've got my headphone cameras. I don't want to put these on because it's so hot in here. But I'll just speak into this directly. So I'm on a call with John, and we're trying to work out how we can approach educating his audience about how being not good in front of the camera affects the performance of their videos or their content or their material. I'll also provide some background about John as well, so you know a bit more about what he does. Okay. Also, do you have a website, John?
Yeah, it's ethicsacademy.com, but it's only really a pointing it to
LinkedIn.
a Kajabi site. So
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll go on your LinkedIn. Maybe that'll be easier.
yeah.
So what I'm using at the moment is a tool called the Business Problem Solver. So I found as I kind of progressed myself in learning AI was that at the beginning, when you're starting your business and you don't have any AI tools or any kind of mapped out processes, you need something just to help you solve problems. And ultimately, the thing that you described is ultimately just a business problem, right? It's like a snapshot in time. Like you're trying to solve this. How do I express what I do? How do I break down what I do and make it digestible, accessible, understandable for my audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this assistant essentially helps us do that, but just applied to any problem. And so there's no specific process. We're going to work through it, and it's going to guide us. So I've given it some context about what we're doing and about you. So hopefully it will have drafted at least a little bit. So here's a draft based on what you shared so far. My coaching and training business is trying to educate professionals on how a lack of confidence and skill in front of the camera negatively impacts their video content performance and business credibility. The desired result is to increase awareness and engagement with our services that helps individuals speak confidently and effectively on camera. Would that be
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. Continue. Right, so question one. So what it will do now, this part of the assistant essentially tries to build context. So it's sort of going to like deep dive into different aspects of the problem to see if it can just clarify some stuff with us. So question one, what do you believe is the main reason John's audience isn't already aware of the impact of poor on-camera presence? They underestimate how video quality affects their business credibility. They don't recognize their own discomfort or awkwardness on camera. They believe technical production value, camera, sound, lighting matters more than delivery, all of the above, or something else.
A bit of all of the above, really. I mean,
Yeah.
I think,
Okay, cool. So let's put in D. All right, so, and it will just keep, essentially, based on the answer to the question, it will keep diving deeper to try to uncover the core of the problem. What is currently the biggest barrier preventing John's audience from seeking help to improve their camera presence? They're embarrassed to admit they're uncomfortable on camera. They think it's a skill rather than naturally good at or not. They don't know that coaching or courses like John's exist, or all of the above.
Still all of the above, really. I mean,
Also, I'll share this assistant with you, so you can always do a rerun through of this, or like try to adapt it to any problem that you might have.
yeah.
What format or method do you think would most effectively educate John's audience about this issue? Story-driven video content showing before and after transformations, expert interviews or podcast appearances discussing the impact of camera fear, free mini course or downloadable guide on camera confidence, all of the above, or something else.
This is part of the thing. I don't know. Which is what we're trying to drill down to, but it's
Yeah, could it be that like these are options but you're not sure?
yeah.
Are you concerned about like the time it takes to produce and things like that, or
think people don't care. You know, I think that's the problem, that or that they don't, or they say they feel they don't care, but when things could be a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm just top of my head. This is what I'm talking about. When things could be a lot better, but they don't bother to do it. It's a bit sort of like, it's frustrating that you can do something very simply, but they don't. They go, oh, that doesn't matter. You know, it's what I say. It's more important.
Yeah. So I would challenge this, and it's not that they don't care necessarily, it's that they haven't seen the value in it. It could look like if it was solved, and so they don't think it's a problem that's worth solving. And so ultimately, your challenge is to showcase and get them to see and educate them on the value of what being better at it leads to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think all of these are possible, and I'm just going to also explain that to this, if that made sense to you. Also, that we want to ensure that people see the value in what John does, because it is important. And ultimately, the reason that they may brush it off is because they can't apply it to them, so they can't visualize what good looks like for them, and so therefore they can't see the impact of what John's transformation achieves. Okay. Let's see what we get next. Excellent, insightful point. The real challenge seems to be visualization and personal relevance. People can't see themselves in the after scenario, so they don't internalize the problem or see John's offering as applicable to them. Let me adjust the next question accordingly to reflect that. What would help John's audience better visualize the transformation and see the personal relevance? Real client testimonials with side-by-side before and after clips, interactive workshops where they can try speaking on camera in a safe place, video content showing different types of people, introverts, CEOs, coaches, succeeding on camera, all of the above. Or something.
A and C are very similar, I think. I mean, before and after, yeah.
Have you thought about B before? Interactive workshops where they can try speaking on camera at a safe place.
Yeah. Again, it's a hard slog. You know, they go, how long it's going to take, and you go, well, they don't seem to want to spend time on it. That's the thing that I've found, and they'll spend time on, I don't know, SEO or something or whatever, or maybe I'm hitting the wrong market. I don't know. That's another thing potentially. It's kind of finding what is my ideal person, and I'm targeting what I think is my ideal person or my ideal market.
Yeah.
But it's been sort of throwing a lot of stuff on the wall and none of it sticking.
Yeah. Are you can I ask what kind of drew you to jump in today? Was there something like in particular that you like an outcome that you were hoping for? Maybe I could steer this discussion a little bit more towards that to support you a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this online course. I spent money to keep it online, and it's not paying for itself. I'm thinking, is it worth continuing with it, or should I just do something just completely different? It's got to that point now where you kind of go, how many people have I got to speak to, or how many people have I got to contact, or get interested before somebody says, oh yeah, that's perfectly for me. Do I have to speak to 20,000 people to get one person? If that's the case, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So my question maybe is like, have you? So like, I'm going to try to give a perspective of where like AI can support this.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've done in the past, and I have a tool that I might be able to share with you, that essentially simulates your ideal customer. So like you define who that is, of course, first. Like who do you feel your ideal customer is? Then you can provide it the copy of the stuff that you're producing now, and essentially use AI to simulate how your customer might react and whether there's enough emotional kind of like reaction to it. Let me see if I can find it. I haven't pulled this tool out for a while, so you'll have to forgive me. But maybe this could support a little bit better. I can share this tool with you again, obviously. So what I'm thinking, where my brain is going is, how can we create variants of your messaging that is more targeted towards who you feel that your audience is, and whether we can then test that. You can test that, right? If you're going to send 100 messages, send 2 versions of them, and then see if like, the new. And I imagine what you'll find is that, and this is one of the things that AI really supports with, is once you see a new language being applied to your messaging, and I had the same experience, it starts to resonate different. And like you feel that, oh, actually, that kind of makes a bit more sense. It sounds a bit softer. It sounds a bit closer to what I'd imagined. And it's difficult to just jump from, the thing that you've been looking at and the way that you've been explaining it. And like it's not connecting. How do you create variants that might connect? And if those still don't connect, you're like, you know what, I've tried a lot. Then maybe it's just not the right problem to solve, or it's just not the right audience, or whatever it might be. Then actually, let's try a different audience. Maybe this problem is valuable to other people and not the people that I thought.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be disheartened. Absolutely not. That's one of the things.
I'm thinking, well, maybe was it? I'm only going through LinkedIn, and obviously using the tool to define a market. Say certain size market, certain businesses. But this is it's not knowing. I'm thinking think it's a pool of fish. I'm thinking I'm going to go shark fishing, but really I'm looking for I don't know, perch or a stickleback, whatever. But I don't know until you try almost every fish and sea. You don't know what the market is.
Yeah.
And I've been varying it with LinkedIn. Certainly, I'm worrying. Again, is LinkedIn the right place? I'm not sure. Technically, it's business people, but you can really hone down in what you want to do. But there's so many people on LinkedIn certainly who are business, but they're there for their own reasons generally. And I have it all the time saying, "Oh, I've got this," and you go, "Okay." It's do I go to I've been many targeted UK people in business. Do you kind of go, okay, let's go to America, let's say, or let's go to Canada or Australia, but there comes a point where you're going to go, well, there's only so much testing you can do, and how much time, because I mean that's it. I just kind of got to a point where I thought, is this really worth it, because I've got the thing that I've got this entity that's all set up for an automatic sort of course, and it's a sort of a one-on-one as well. But I don't need that many people because of that. It's a very personalised thing. There's a one-on-one or a group session, we say, every week, and I ask any question. But it hasn't really got the ground, and it's almost like you need some success to make success. Show people the success you've got.
Have you thought about making, so like I found as I've been progressing through my journey with my business, and I've only been at this, I started this fully like, okay, this is what I'm doing at the end of July last year. So we're like coming up to a year for me as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And I found that at the beginning, I thought that my audience understood what I was talking about. But then I found that they didn't. And I was like, okay, so what I'm offering and the knowledge and language and everything that they need in order to achieve that needs to be up here. But the audience is like down here. And like they don't have the knowledge, the understanding to even know what I'm talking about. And so how do I they might still need to be there in order to buy my flagship product, but how do I get them there? So like, how do I create steps on that path that gets them closer to that? Ultimately, if you make the steps small enough, then some people will take a step. And like, what's the smallest that you can get someone to take? That means that they're working with you, that they're engaging with you, that they're communicating, you're able to talk to them, get feedback, like experiment with services. And then again, you might eventually get to your flagship product, or you might realize that your flagship product is something else. And that's basically what happened to me. I like realized the flagship product was something else.
Yeah. I've been, well, I've studied people over the years, and said it's all steps and steps and steps. You kind of go, you have a PDF or something that you can download, and you got their address. You can email them. Then it's, would you like to invest 47 quid or $47, whatever, or 27? And it's a step, and some people drop out along the way. But then somebody else came up with the sort of things like, look, I have this flagship product. This is all you need to do to make it work. You don't need to go through all these other stages. And there's a hold your hand sort of version along combined with it. And he was doing very well at it, but he's mainly teaching people how to make courses online, which is what I got, and he was doing very well out of it. He's a musician originally, a heavy metal musician, and then he kind of gave it all up because he said there's no money in that, and he's doing very well. Let's put it that way. But his courses are, I don't know now what they'd be. They're probably 7,000 quid, now to get on the course. It wasn't that when I was in with him. But it's just I don't I just got to the point where how which direction do I go? I mean, yeah, as you're saying, it's like maybe I'm completely knocking on completely the wrong doors, and I need to test that. That's probably another way, and kind of go. Let's have a look at, let's say, LinkedIn, and go. Let's take people from, say, Canada. Let's take people from America. Let's take people from Australia, and give them all the same thing, and split test it, and then split test it again, and then go, well, actually, this is working. I just run out of energy doing it all.
I understand. So I would say then the problem is that you need to experiment, and experimenting takes time, and so you've come to the right place, I guess, for that. Like AI is the single biggest transformational force that we will live through, like without a doubt. And for myself and from my own personal experience, I was really upset at the beginning when whatever it was that I was working on didn't work, because you have belief in what you do and you feel that from your perspective and your understanding, it should work, and why would it not? But they're still just experiments, and everything that you've tried so far is an experiment, and everything that you will continue to try is an experiment. And eventually one of those experiments will work. The key is, how do you experiment as many times over and as straightforward as possible without needing to like re-engineer the wheel every time? And the answer to that is AI. Like if you're able to say, right, this is what I'm doing now, but I want a variant on it, and give me this, make it more like this. Oh, my audience is now changing to this. Can you refresh all the copy?
Yeah.
Well, only AI will be able to do that for you. Like if you have to do that manually, suddenly that's long. But if AI can support that, then suddenly it's not about whether any individual experiment works. It's about what can you learn from each experiment and how quickly can you iterate and try the next one. It's what will keep you winning, not like finding the one is going to take time. Like who knows? Like I wouldn't be able to tell you a course that says I'm going to find you the exact audience, the exact everything. I don't know how to do that. I like eventually figured it out myself through experiments. And like, it's how do you do experiments quickly? And AI is the part that helps there.
Well, I was looking at, I still am actually in many ways looking at the course is still there online, but the whole my whole philosophy is I've got a load of stuff I've recorded that is not going to go out of date, and I can add to it, but it's not going to go out of date. So that's all. So I don't need to repeat myself saying all that. So all that's recorded on video, and the bits that people get stuck on is the one-on-ones or the videos or the seminars or whatever Zoom calls. So I'm thinking about that here really. But it's blimey, I've just lost
No, take your time. It's hot as well.
Yeah, I'll just put a light on as well. It's pretty hot out. Just put a light on. I know it's only quite subtle. It makes you hot. It's a psychological thing working in a studio, and as soon as the light goes on, I get hot. It's basically, it is defining what are they going to use it for, and how are they going to use it. And as a scraper tool, I know that's to do with LinkedIn. They don't like it, but there's a thing you can go. I get a load of people. And these are the things I think we need to look at. So let's say living in Canada, living in New York, whatever, and what are they looking for? And it's then have a load of data and just test it. But it's actually got to a point where I was running out of people in my criteria, so I had to go keep on looking for them again, and that was taking time. Saying, well, actually, I don't know. I'm not getting any feedback to know who's looking for. So I think this is this is the audience, but I'm not sure.
Have you been? Let's have a look at your LinkedIn. So is LinkedIn your main place that you like?
It was, yeah. I was sort of let go past few months, to be honest, because I got so sort of,
Yeah, I mean, I would say that like try to like release more of your own content.
Yeah.
Like think about like your marketing, or at least this is the way that again, like, I can really talk on my own experience. Like I'm mostly focused on educating people on AI, but that's not to say that like base principles of like how people build relationships and stuff don't apply. People, you want your social media, and I'll go back to that ladder thing. It's a jump in education. It's a jump in like domain specific knowledge. It's a jump in like specific knowledge about the problem that you solve and why it's important for people to be confident on camera and how they might use it. That's missing. So like if people don't know what you do and you got to speak on the problem that you solve and like why it's a problem and why it's valuable and like show examples and like break down and do mini exercises that are like really easy for people to be able to do and try to get them to do it in little mini workshops just so they can experience the energy change, they can experience the slight shift in confidence that they might feel, and then eventually they'll realize that it's valuable. But that is like a slow campaign of just educating and like touching on it. People that interact with you and turn up and message and comment and it resonates, like they will become your audience, and they're then the people to speak to.
Mm.
But until you like show that and like be open about the problem that you're solving and talk directly on it yourself, it's difficult to interact and just find people that like data criteria through like just anything.
Yeah.
You know, like you need feedback. Like you're not gonna go with like a right. This is the finance audience. Let's test it. This is the finance audience. Let's test it.
Yeah.
It has to be right. I'm gonna put out who I am, what I'm doing, and how it might help people, and I'm gonna keep trying to shed light on what I do and why I think it's important until people that it resonates with will be found.
Mm.
And like, the more you just embody that, like spreading education and knowledge about what you do and why it's important, people will then go, "Oh, I have that problem. Like I kind of need that," and
The,
that's where you'll get your first customers from.
yeah. There is the other sort of side of it, if you like, is people are now kind of going, well, I don't need to speak to the camera. I've got AI. I can just do it, and I can sample my voice, and I can sample a picture of me, and it make it look like I'm talking. Now, obviously, it's not as perfect as talking to like we are talking now, but it's going to get that way. It's going to get that way very quickly. So people kind of go, well, I don't need. Well, I'll just program it all in. That's kind of where I look at AI more.
Could I share then what my rebuttal to that would be?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
In order for you as an individual to be able to understand what good looks like,
Mm.
you have to try it on yourself. And like some automated system that knows nothing about you and no context about you, even the scripts that it's going to write, I imagine those will be AI generated as well, right? Like at some point in the future when making effort is not no effort at all, they're just AI is just going to replicate them and produce really great content that resonates with their audience.
Mm.
Like it's just not true.
Mm.
It's just not true. And like the fundamental part of business is that you iterate as you speak to your audience. Ultimately, for you to help them, you have to understand them. And at the moment, you may not understand who they are.
Mm.
You think you say like, I know how I could define them, but until you speak to them and they tell you, yes, I have these problems, and yes, this thing would help me, then you don't speak the same language. And marketing and everything else and outreach and everything else that you're doing is about how do we find that? How do we find, and again, it's essentially product market fit, right? Like I know the problem that I solve, the way that I explain it, express it, and put it out into the world, the people that need it understand it and want to buy it in that way.
Mm.
And that's basically what you're looking for. And
Yeah.
everything up until that point is an experiment.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, you could go and film 100 videos automatically without recording yourself with AI. But how does that get you anywhere closer to the goal? Like, it's not just content for content's sake. It's about what are you learning from it, and like,
Yeah.
what engagement are you getting.
No, I think it's people's perception of it is. I mean, there's things around now that are very, very reasonable and actually do it pretty well. Not perfectly necessarily, but you can do something. Hi, I'm John. I'd like to tell you about my product. Da, 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 da. Right, that's quite relatively simple. Now, 10 years ago, it wasn't very simple, but nowadays it's a bit of software and you can buy it. No, you can spend lots of money on it, or you can spend not so much money on it. But it's that sort of mentality of it's people are frightened, not frightened necessarily, but they're very uncomfortable in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of unlock why they don't like themselves on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like trying to learn how to ride a bike. If you think you can't do it, you fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, oh, that hurt. I'm not going to do that again. But if you don't get through that sort of somebody teaching you This is what you do. Either put stabilizers on when you're a kid, and then you keep pedaling. Don't stop pedaling, otherwise you will fall off.
So how do you identify your audience? Like if you could say like what's one common thing that your customer does that you could see visible on social media that would mean that they would be good for your training?
It's a front-facing role. It's not sort of selling widgets on Amazon. It's a forward-selling role. So maybe they're selling courses, they're selling a book, whatever. It's something tangible, or they're selling.
Yeah, maybe more what I was asking is like, how do you see that they need your help? Like if I went on LinkedIn and I picked a random person who is in that industry, say let's use the example. Like there was a time that I was much less comfortable just putting out a camera and talking. And like when I mean recently, I mean like as recent as the last 6 months, I've like found a way for me to appear on camera in a way that feels comfortable for me. And now I've been posting much more regularly, recording myself. And so you might have seen me 6 months ago, like film a video and then not film again, or like inconsistently post because it's just not something that I've valued for whatever reason. So that's a symptom of someone who's not necessarily confident, that doesn't find it that easy just to be on camera, and therefore like is not doing it because they're not comfortable. But if you could say to them, if you could imagine yourself being so comfortable that anything that you wanted to say, you could just pull out your phone, like articulate it and express yourself in the way that you want, regardless of whether there's a camera there or not. Like how would that impact your campaign? How would that impact the consistency that your audience sees from you? Then there's a reason now for your services. Right? So like how do you identify those people? So like I like film these little videos just like as I'm walking, and like no script, no real prep behind them. I just whatever I'm thinking about on the day that I think is going on that I want to share, I'll just walk and just explain it. And at the beginning, and here's another video of one of my clients that is trying to mirror the same process as me, but this is his first video. Like I can tell, and he's done great and be brave to like to jump in and do it. Like so shout out to Simon if he watches this. But you can tell that this is his first real video like this, and that's not a detriment to him. That's just that as he gets better at doing it and he gets confident that he'll relax and it will flow better and whatever. And I've noticed that in myself. So like, how do you identify that people are just starting that journey, and the fact that they've tried means that they feel that it must be important enough that they've tried, but they haven't made it their thing yet. And I imagine there is a gap where people lack confidence.
Well, yeah, that's predominantly it. It's confidence. It's they think there's so many parts to it that it's like trying to learn how to fly a jumbo jet, whereas really you teach them how to ride a push bike, and then move up. I'm not talking about teaching people how to be newsreaders or stuff like that. That's not what it's about. It's about, I've got something here, I want to tell you something, whether it's writing it down or getting it visually. I think I've got something here that will help you, and this is the best way of doing it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, of course, and some imperfection is probably quite good in many ways, but there's a point where you go, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, because da 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 da. And I go into sort of cinema and stuff about how if you're looking from below, it's quite menacing and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's sort of a catch-22. It's like I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what.
Yeah, of course. Let me share my screen again because I think I found the tool that I wanted to share with you.
Yeah.
So this is an ideal customer creator and simulator. The first step was just to gather a bit of information about you. It's now said that this is your business name, your industry, training and coaching, video-based communication skills, video production, marketing, primary products and services, one-to-one coaching, speak to the camera, on-demand course, copywriting, technical writing services. So target market, initially coaches, trainers, entrepreneurs, small business owners, corporate execs, and seasoned stage speakers who need to present confidently on live or recorded video. Remove camera fear, turning clients into relaxed. Fine. So does this snapshot feel right? So I feel like that does, based on what you've said.
Yeah.
So if I say yes. Does this mean that's correct? You'd like me to move on to building the ideal customer profile? Yes, let's do that. Let's do it. So first we'll build the ideal customer persona for the audience. And again, this is something that you can refine, but I just want to kind of capture an example of how you would use AI to, one, define it really quickly and then iterate it and be able to like build copy out of it quickly. So all genders, primarily UK, US, income level 60 to 150K, coach, consultants, authors, small business clients, stuff we spoke about. Psychographics, professional authenticity, self-improvement, strategy, confidence, trust, interest, public speaking, online marketing, video content, personal branding, fun. So you'll find a lot of people like this on LinkedIn that are like trying to build their business, trying to build their profiles. Behaviors, purchasing habits, willing to invest in high quality training, prefers a mix of online and one-to-one options, influenced by testimonials, expert authority, transformational case studies, active on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, may run or belong to coaching/entrepreneur communities. Starts with awareness via content, seeks credibility, books a discovery call before purchasing, may buy the course first, then upgrade to one-to-one. Pain points, feels awkward or inauthentic on video, knows video is essential but avoids doing it, which is something that you mentioned. Worried about how they look/sound, failed attempts with DIY video, fear of being judged or not taken seriously, lacks tech knowledge, lighting, sound, etc. Okay, so this is quite comprehensive about mapping out like who your audience might be. So like my approach here is that if you're really methodical with like, right, let's define the audience, right, let's try to build copy that matches for that audience. Does that resonate? Build a couple of versions of that. Does that resonate? If it doesn't, some does, some doesn't. What is it that doesn't? How can you speak to them in a way that goes, I said this before, does that make sense to you or does that not make sense to you? Because ultimately you're checking, right? Like what language will they understand? And like having something that really is descriptive about who your audience is and the pain points that they feel and what might trigger like a purchasing decision means that you should be able to shift that, tweak that, and evolve your approach over time, where it's a bit more methodical. So let's say yes. Train the GT model using the persona, apply the model. So let's just do number one. We don't have any interactions yet. And then we'll test the conversation. Do you have any copy or anything that you can share with me? Like if I anywhere, will I find anything?
I'll have to dig it out.
Let me have a look.
It's all on a different platform. It's all on like an autoresponder thing, you know.
For anyone that's watching the replay of this, John has been a great sport, and then he's holding the conversation for the whole hour because no one else seems to need my help other than John. So I hope you don't mind, John. You're going to be spending the full hour with me.
No problem.
Right. So visit the website. Inactive. Yeah. So, is there any other site?
Yeah, I think initially, I think what you're trying to get to is it going? Is that trying to get to the Kajabi one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's
Here we go.
me. Yeah.
Here we go. All right. So if I
So at the moment, the links probably don't work because long story.
so if I said to it, I want to review the website.
Mhm.
So here it goes. Right. Purpose thing. Customers. One.
It needs to be relinked and paid for. I think is the Kajabi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the key things that I would want to share with you, if you take anything away from today, John, is that you can use AI to help you explore problems that you ultimately wouldn't have done before. Like where a problem might take you a while to like think it through and figure out
Yeah.
how do I action this. Like never be stuck. Like you always have something that can talk it through, ideate, like provide examples. Like if you just can't think of a solution, but then it says, oh, here are 5 options. And then you're like, oh, actually, yeah, you know what, that's actually quite a good idea. And I haven't tried that one. I haven't tried that one.
Yeah.
And that gives you just something else. And because everything is an experiment, you know, you have no problem just trying something else, right?
Is this GPT using, or is this something else? Or is this a secret thing?
No, this is just ChatGPT.
Right.
This particular is like a custom AI system that I built within ChatGPT
Okay.
that I can share with you. I think I built this for shout out Melita if she's listening. This was one of the first ones that I built actually. She was like, Nino, do you think that AI could do this? And she was like, I'd love to be able to simulate my ideal customer and see what they think about my copy. And I was like, you know what, let's do that. So I'd like to do some copy. So this assistant has 3 things that it tries to help with. So A/B testing with GPT feedback. So compare 2 versions of your sales content, page, email, video scripts, to see how your ideal customer reacts. Mode 2, sentiment analysis. So test a single piece of content to understand how it makes your customer feel, you know, emotional resonance, the cover language, triggers, etc. And then the last one is like usability of your funnel. You could like put in different sections of your funnel to see whether there's anything missing, things that your customer might like to see in between.
Yeah.
So I think for this, let's go with mode 2. And I actually want to see if we give it your website, and maybe like this camera to page link, because these are your 2 main bits that people might land on, just to see how AI simulates that and how it reacts.
I'd say you might find some broken links there because of I need to pay the bill. Because Kajabi isn't the cheapest thing in the world.
You know, no, it isn't. Here are 2 websites I'd like.
So 2 distinct websites. So 2 different URLs, you mean?
2 different URLs, you know.
Okay.
So just the main website and also the speak to the camera. Sentiment analysis on the copy from both pages. Focus on how your ideal customer might perceive them. Here's a breakdown of the emotional and logical responses. So emotional tone, the messaging aims to uplift and inspire, emphasize global reach and impact. Phrases like becoming #1 in your field suggest high aspirations. Supportive acknowledges common fears such as apprehension about speaking on camera, clarity and reliability, fine triggers objections, emphasizes overcoming fear. recommendations. So enhance specificity,
Mm-hmm.
providing more detailed information about model courses and outcomes can help potential clients understand the value proposition better. Include testimonials, share customer success stories or testimonials, and build trust and credibility. By the way, like with this, don't feel like you have to get people through your flagship product in order to get the testimonial. Like that idea of making the smallest interaction that you can with your customer to see if they are your customer. Like if you give them value in a way, like you can ask for a testimonial and say, did you like my value session? Did you like my workshop? Did you like my whatever? And like it's just about building out like that what you do and the value that you bring is helpful to people. Clarify unique selling points, clearly differentiate your offering from competitors, can strengthen your position in the market. Would you like to proceed another mode or delve deeper into any specific area? So what we could do now is say, can you provide for mode 1 2 sets of updated copy for the landing page? So your ideal customer is coach, speaker, entrepreneur, professional, looking to grow their visibility, credibility through video, seeking a solution. So emotional empowerment focus, step into the spotlight with total confidence on camera. Subheadline, overcome camera fear and become a powerful, authentic person. Overcome camera fear and become a powerful, authentic presence on camera, no matter your experience level. If you're heading back from growing your business, because you're camera shy, you're not alone. Even seasoned professionals freeze up when their red light turns on. At Epic Academy, we help you transform fear into flow so you can confidently deliver your message, grow your brand, and connect with your audience like never before. Whether you're launching an online course, showing up on social media, or presenting to clients, our Speak to Camera training combines 25 years of film industry experience with coaching that meets you exactly where you are. Self-paced online course, personal one-to-one coaching, real transformation, not just tips. Let's make your next video the one that gets remembered. How does that sound?
Good.
Does that feel different to what your copy feels at the moment?
There's elements of there that are put in, but it's actually probably a bit more concise than what I've done, which is probably better. Well, it is better.
And then the second version of that is version B, so around authority and transformation focus. The headline, 3,700 interviews, BAFTA credentials, now it's your turn to master camera. Speak with clarity, confidence, and charisma, and never dread another Zoom call, sales video, or live stream. You're tired of cringing at your own videos or avoiding video altogether, you're in the right place. I'm John Keedwell. That's all right?
Keedwell.
Keedwell.
So it's a very unusual name.
Keedwell. I mean, I'm terrible at reading off a script, so this is always challenging for me, like doing these sessions. BAFTA voting member, cinematographer, and author have helped thousands of professionals like you become confident, credible, and camera ready. We don't teach you how to use the camera, we'll show you how to own it. You'll understand why you look and sound different and how to fix it, what to wear, where to film, and how to light yourself, how to speak with conviction without feeling fake. It's practical, proven training built over 2 decades in the industry, not fluff. Your message matters. Let's make sure the camera helps you share it. So then it says, now to simulate your audience, would you like to proceed with the simulation? So let's just say yes, simulate. So now what we can do is like it's created what it thinks it likes, and now we can try and simulate what the audience thinks about it. Kind of Inception, AI is reflected on AI. The point is that this should spark you and your ideas and how can a different perspective maybe like touch the audience where my copy before wasn't getting through. Ideal customer reaction. Okay, step into the limelight. That caught my attention. I really do feel I'm hiding from the camera right now. This makes me feel seen, like I'm not the only one struggling with this. I like that acknowledge it's a common fear, even among experienced professionals. That puts me at ease a bit. I'm curious about transform fear into flow bit. That sounds doable. Self-paced one. I like combo. Sounds personal. Tone here supportive. I feel present. I don't feel pressured. More like encouraged. So emotional trust 9 out of 10. Clarity 8 out of 10. Buying interest 7.5. Slight uncertainty about level of personal feedback and transformation specifics. Okay. And then again, this one then also gives feedback. But my goal here is also just to show you that AI can support. Like, it's just about applying it. It's about applying it in different ways, and it can really share different perspectives. And like I said, it's about how do you accelerate your next experiment. Like if you could take one of these copies and say, I like this, can you improve this email sequence? Can you improve, this next set of LinkedIn posts? How would that change the outcome? Does that get closer to your audience?
Yeah, I mean, those two are quite sort of different in the whole point. They're slightly different, and obviously they have different markets and different potential results, of course. And it's I'm saying those. I've learned from people about split testing and from Matt Bass, Matt Basak. You may not know him, but he's email marketer basically, and he split tests something, then he split tests it and split tests it like 200 times to get the actual
but
perfection.
it doesn't necessarily need to be that complex. Remember,
no, he's like old school testing.
You want to try to, even if it's a case that your copy evolves once, and then you put that out, you send it out, you like see how people react to it. One, do you feel comfortable sending the copy? Remember, like this is a reflection of you. Like AI can help us write a million different things, right? And like we might then get it to generate 100 different variants of this copy, so you can like split test to like forever, right? But does it feel like you? And ultimately, like you're going to be coaching these people, you're going to be supporting these people, and so the quicker they get to feel your voice and your way of solving a problem, then the quicker they'll build trust in you, and the more likely they are then to buy your product and your service. And so I hope that. So what did you take from today? I mean, we're coming to the end of the hour now.
Yeah, I know. I just realised the time actually. That's a fun hour, wasn't it? It's using it, is knowing how to use it, what you just did, and asking the right questions to do it, or the program that you've done to make it happen. And I can see it works, and I use GPT a lot for rewriting things. I say, here's a load of bullet points. Can you write this into something? And it comes out better in 2 minutes. That'll take you 3 hours to write that. So I'm doing it all the time. I'm just doing it in a different way. I'm using it literally every day, but it's like I never really thought about doing what you just did and saying, what's the audience? How can you interrogate the website and say, what you just said, and get two split test versions of it, which one works likely best. That's kind of interesting. That might give you the boost to actually to do it, because I just got disheartened really.
I understand that, but I mean, it's easy to do, and like the idea that entrepreneurship or like starting a business like this is easy is like just not true. And it can be a lonely journey, but I found that if you could just accelerate, like everything is a lot less painful if you're not dragging your heels for months and months and months trying to get things done, trying to get things out, trying to get things finished. And so the gap there, the thing that really can accelerate is AI, really. And like if you can use it in a way that supports you and accelerates you and means that you can iterate quickly, then like what does that mean, right? Like if you've been able to do 2 experiments in the last year, but now you can do 2 a month, then suddenly like you're going to get through and make a lot more progress, right? But okay, well look, I think that I run a session called AI Clarity for Coaches.
Mhm.
Essentially, it's like a one-to-one value session, free again, where I basically show how AI and what else AI can do. Like today, we obviously uncovered like a very, very specific use case, and like what you might do in that situation. But ultimately, you want to see maybe a higher level of like, right, this is what I do as an overhaul. Like, where can AI really be helping me right now?
Yeah.
Because if you're feeling that burnout of like, this is long and like, this is taking a lot of energy and I'd have to keep picking myself back up to like keep giving it another go, then really maybe what you need is a way of creating a bit more space. And
Yeah.
like AI can support more, and it really is about support and not replace, because it's not about saying like, can AI just teach what you're teaching? Like, no. Can AI just do what you're teaching? No. Like, it's like your real world experience and how AI can support your method and the way that you take people through that transformation. So yeah, I thought that that would be quite useful, even just to get a bit of clarity yourself in like, this is where it really fits for me. All right, I'll send you a link. Just for you to be able to book that. And yeah, just any time really that suits you.
That's being slightly cheeky. Is that what you just did on GPT? Is it possible to
have it
send it?
Yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because it's there's a few things I think. Well, I might change a few words that it wasn't quite right on, but it does that, and you go, where did you get 25 years from? It's like it's more than that, for example.
Yeah. There'll be more things that is sort of like just maybe assumed a few bits. Like this particular tool, like I normally run workshops that support in really trying to capture, and actually the session that we'll run if you book through for the clarity sessions, it will be able to uncover more of your exact coaching, and it will research a little bit background. But yeah. Cool. Well, I hope that was useful for you, John. I hope that you feel a bit more energized.
Yeah, absolutely. It was getting to the point where, well, I won't bore all the detail, but I'm writing CVs to get work, basically. It got to that point where all I'm doing is writing CVs, and because there wasn't the money coming in from the course, so you kind of go, okay, I need to change that. I need to have it do it at the same time as well, or have it churning away in the background, and just giving time and space, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas all I'm doing now is like, I've got to get something happening.
Well done to you then for coming along today, because sometimes all you need is like just a different impetus of energy from elsewhere. And I hope that, look, you can do this, and AI can definitely help you. Like, it can help everyone, right? Like, everyone. It's about just trying, basically. Like, the only thing that stopped you from doing the thing that I did today was that you didn't know that you could do that. Like, now you know that you can do that, and so now suddenly, like, you feel a bit more empowered, hopefully, to go out and try that experiment. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, brilliant.
Cool. All right.
To you.
Thank
you for lasting the hour.
Thanks for your time, and well, an hour and a quarter now, almost. Lovely to see you again, and
to you, and we'll speak soon.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for that.
See you, John.
Yeah, cheers.
And,